encounter question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setting, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly.
Now,
Oh my God. You ever was at a Diddy party?
No.
Never?
I ain't never been invited. I ain't that big. I mean, maybe if I was in the position that I'm in now, but back then, no. I don't get invited to no parties, bro. Plus, I'm a homebody.
Do you like partying or no? Nah, yeah.
I just like to be to myself.
I feel that.
You know.
I feel that.
Man say he'll give you. You think Jay-Z or running out a good time right now? Or you're silly, man. You're silly. You're silly, man. You're silly, man. Go see if you can fix the wall, will you, Shaq? Oh, man. In fact, here. Fix the wall, man. They can fix the wall. So kidding.
It appears that Shannon Sharpe has finished being polite and is aiming directly for Shaquille O'Neal's throat. Shannon Sharpe is now standing up and addressing Shaquille O'Neal, but not over basketball comments or TV beef, after reportedly setting him up with a bizarre $50 million lawsuit. If you have been following this development, you already know what I mean. To be honest, the timing is terrible, and this lawsuit did not just happen to come up at the same time that Shannon was supposedly on the verge of landing a huge $100 million deal with the ESPN. However, he has since resigned from negotiations. And more than that, this lawsuit was the last nail in the coffin of the deal. Coincidence? I do not think so, but it does not end there. According to insiders, Gabriella is the first woman Shaq may have used to lure Shannon, and the case also involves her. Let us get started because this story is crazy, chaotic, and full of receipts. Shaq's fingerprints are all over the other case that came before this one, so buckle up. Since Matt Barnes, in a subtle way, revealed the truth, we must start with him in order to fully comprehend where this maze of lies extends. Imagine this. Matt Barnes is going about his daily business in the early months of 2022 when all of a sudden this audio clip begins to circulate. Do you know who is in it? Matt is purportedly discussing how Shaquille O'Neal was prepared to shell out a substantial sum of money, not play money, to unearth information about Shannon's conduct.
And remember, I'm paying top dollar for all that information. Love you, boy. Hey, don't tell nobody.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Now, where precisely is this audio from? Although it is still unclear, some claim it was a private chat that was released, while others speculate it may have been captured on a side tape or podcast. In any case, Matt Barnes' voice was extremely audible, and he essentially implied that Shaq was not only upset about the slight about MVP. Honestly, if you look at the time frame, it makes sense because you remember how their feud erupted when Shaq came for Shannon, following the whole MVP thing with Nikola Jokic, who was willing to stoop low to get back at Shannon. According to Shannon, Shaq took it seriously and went into petty billionaire mode, rather than simply clapping back on social media like everyone else. It sounded like jealousy.
Enough to have a problem with you. And so what I try to do, I got kids damn near your age, and so I'm not going to go back and forth. I don't go back and forth, but I say what I say. I like to think that I keep everything that I possibly can on the court. But I think the thing is, Cam, that I speak with so much passion when I talk. People take my passion as being personal.
right. Now, we got to talk about it. You in the Shaq situation, right? He came out with a diss track, and I heard your response to it, but his was more, there's another situation. The passion of whatever, and I believe you caught it straight, because I don't think you was, in essence, talking about it more so than Gilbert. You did, and then it spun to that. Have you guys talked?
We haven't. Shaq feels the way he feels, and he's perfectly fine to feel that way. I said what I said. I still think Shaq is a phenomenal basketball player, even though, he minimized my career. I'm fine.
This is where things get really shady. Following the entire MVP drama, there was no public back and forth, no sub-tweets, and no shady interviews between them. People assumed that everything had been resolved, but little did they know that Shaq was allegedly initiating the investigation behind the scenes. When you consider how high Shannon was at the time, with new podcast deals, TV guest spots, and a rumored $100 million ESPN bag, Shaq's desire to move wildly but lethal makes perfect sense. However, if you are still certain that Shaq was not responsible, wait till we discuss this widely shared TMZ footage. And it is not just any video, it is the one where Shannon Sharpe is shown getting intimate with an unidentified fan at a gathering. We all know that Shannon is a people person, charming, gregarious, and he likes women, especially white women, but that is not new information.
I just decided to you. Sorry, but I need to put these on with the show. Watch for people out. She's the character of the scene. The one not every dance. Up there.
Lens lounged. The show was in there. Quando I look at that, because like, I had put the light sugar on. You look at what find us on. Keep it black, but look to light and like her up to buy and she like as.
Let us face it though, TMZ does not appear everywhere. Usually someone has to call, someone alerts them, and someone ensures that the camera is oriented in the proper direction. This is even more disheartening because if this was a setup, it was flawless. Being his typical amiable personality, Shannon immediately jumped in when they dangled the bait. And it could have been the only approval Shaq needed to start making a big mess behind the scenes. Gabriella Zuniga is the subject of this $50 million lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe, as you may already be aware. And you know who is in charge of this lawsuit? Tony Busby, of course. When it comes to well-publicized celebrity takedowns or shakedowns, this man is not a play. Let us move on to the claims though. According to Gabriella, Shannon coerced her into accepting him, hurt her physically, and engaged in psychological manipulation and domineering behavior. She claims to have experienced trauma, stress, and various forms of emotional harm. According to Busby, he has recordings of himself that bolster Gabriella's account. This is where things become complicated though, due to Shannon's persistent and forceful pushback. In a public speech, he stated unequivocally that the entire 10-minute recording ought to be played, not just a portion of it either.
The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a delivery setting, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly.
Now, if a man responds by playing the entire illegal tape, it indicates that he feels the edit is unfair. He is also standing on his 2 feet, claiming that Gabriella was a voluntary participant and that the media is just displaying bits and pieces to paint him in a negative light. The situation becomes rather hazy at this point since people began to dig. What did they discover? Texts that were leaked? Not just any text either. Screenshots that purport to depict Shannon and Gabriella talking about, well, let us say some crazy role-playing dreams, including race play, have been making the rounds. Since it is dark, I advise you to remain innocent and simply keep things going if you do not know what it is. Another problem, though, is that none of these divides are random. What does Shannon say to you all? I am seeking a sinner, you know what I mean. After dismissing it with a laugh, he went one step further and called out adult film star Miss B as nasty. That man claims that he is not attempting to date any heterosexual women. He is looking for something horrible.
What you think about that?
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. Sent me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you
Miss Nasty B?
my brother.
Nasty.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking
No?
straight and narrow.
Oh, come on. So listen, I thought we is
Let us be honest. Even though no one is criticizing his tastes, he has made no secret of the lifestyle he leads. The lustful remarks, the on-air desire, and his jokes about women are all directed directly at us. Can we truly state that we are sharks now that Gabriella's lawsuit has been filed and these outrageous claims are appearing everywhere? As if he were telling us in 4K. The worst part is that Gabriella's amiga may not have been the only lady purportedly involved in this Get Shannon plot. And guess what? There is another case that seems to have Shaq's fingerprints all over it, and it has similar vibes. To be clear, Evans is not bringing a legal action against Shannon for SA. Nonetheless, she said that he had intimidated her, attempted to ruin her career, and caused her great emotional pain. She claims that in the ensuing media and internet backlash, she was called a liar and her reputation was damaged. Indeed, Shannon Sharpe dismissed these accusations as well, and he has refuted all of the accusations made against him thus far. But hurry up, people. Maybe we could make the same allegations twice, 3 times, and call it a coincidence. Listen up. Shannon Sharpe has admitted in public that he never went to those crazy parties.
Oh my God. You ever was at a Diddy party?
No.
Never?
I ain't never been invited. I ain't that big. I mean, maybe if I was in the position that I'm in now, but back then, no. I don't get invited to no parties, bro. Plus, I'm a homebody.
Do you like partying or no? Nah, yeah.
I just like to be to myself.
I feel that.
You know.
I feel that.
On the record, he stated that he had nothing to do with the purported cult-like crazy Hollywood craziness. However, when one takes a step back and considers everything that has surfaced thus far, these lawsuits, these leaked texts, the aggressive essay allegations, people are beginning to question what is real. Because the tone, energy, and power play dynamics described in these lawsuits are exactly the same as those we have seen in cover-ups, control, coercion, obsession, and investigations. Remember when Jay and Diddy's discussion was made public not so long previously? But there are not just fans who have asked questions. Shaquille O'Neal, however, was one sitting there. He fell very silent, got up, and left the stage, blatantly abandoned the scene. At that moment, everyone was wondering if Mr. Shaquille O'Neal knew anything. He never mentioned Shannon's name, although it was undoubtedly given. I know folks who used to live that way and now act as though they don't.
I say he'll give you. You think Jay-Z or running out a good time right now? Or he's silly, man. You're silly. You're wrong. You're silly, man. You're silly, man. Go see if you can fix the wall, will you, Shaq? Oh, man. Here, back here. Fix the wall, man. They can fix the wall. So kidding.
Additionally, Shannon has consistently portrayed himself as a morally upright family man. The clean Uncle Shay Shay image is cited in the Bible, but these lawsuits are beginning to reveal something quite different behind the scenes. As is customary, people familiar with the matter are speculating that Shannon believes Shaq may be engaging in some sort of covert activity. As he poses as everyone's favorite hilarious guy, he is laughing it up, making fun of others, and possibly even assisting with these setups. And the reason if you text Shaq's. Without a doubt, he is not acting like a man who is anxious about anything. Because Shaq captioned a post with a joke on the entire Matt Barnes audio leak situation. Damn, I've got caught again. I need that information. I'm paying dollars. The worse it looks to get out, the more Shannon tries to defend himself. It is like every time he speaks up, more dirt leaks, more records, and more energy that shouts something is building. Shaq, meanwhile, is having a great time. Posting trivial captions and behaving like this has nothing to do with them. However, I must leave you all with a few questions to consider beforehand. Do you believe that unfair treatment of the Shannon Sharpe is occurring? Third, can Shannon even recover from all of these litigation and leaks, or is his career essentially over? Second, is Shaquille O'Neal joking, or is he subtly putting Shannon under the bus? Please feel free to share your opinions in the comments section below. Press the alert bell to ensure you do not overlook any additional updates. What comes next is something you do not want to skip.